Hello and welcome back to another new edition of Windows in Current Affairs, and today we continue to embark over the latest or a follow-up over the file of tourism for this season, of course, the summer 2022. And as we all know that every day we wake up in Egypt, you wake up to a new excavation, to a new historic discovery, or you wake up to a new surprise, new happenings in the field of tourism. Today we're going to talk about talking about 7 of the best beaches worldwide are located in Egypt. And we're also going to be talking about the excavations that were taken in Saqqara earlier, and also we're going to be talking about the types of tourism that should be taking place in summer, which are many, by the way. We're going to be talking about a lot, and in general, we're going to be talking about sustainable tourism. And nobody else better to talk to us about sustainable tourism but Dr. Amr Atef. He's travel expert, PhD in Heritage and Museum Studies, Faculty of Tourism and Hotel Management, Helwan University. Good evening, Dr. Atef.
Good evening, ma'am.
What is the story about the new excavations or the new discoveries in Saqqara?
Well, this is the story of this century, I would say. I mean, if we talk about King Tutankhamun's discovery, I mean the tomb of King Tutankhamun, as the biggest discovery of 1922, so I would say that the Saqqara discovery that took place, I mean, a few days ago, is considered to be the biggest discovery, of this decade, if we can say so. It's such an amazing discovery, and Dr. Mustafa Waziri, the Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, has announced the excavation. And the thing that makes this excavation different, number one, it's with totally Egyptian hands. So all the archaeologists and all the workers and everybody who's going on the archaeological digs are Egyptians. So this is the first time to have such a big discovery with total Egyptian experts and expertise. The second thing is the number of coffins that was discovered is humongous. We're talking about 250 sarcophagus or sarcophagi.
The latest one?
The latest one. We're talking about 250 sarcophagi that are made out of wood, and they are covered with plaster layers. It's amazing and stunning, and it's from the Bobastian necropolis in Saqqara. We're talking about 150 statues that are made out of bronze of different cats and gods and goddesses. We're talking about a statue of Amun-Ra, the father of all the gods. We're talking about Amun-Min. We're talking about Isis, Osiris, Nephthys, and Nekotis, all those gods and goddesses that are made out of bronze. And over and above comes the statue of Imhotep. Imhotep, of course, we know that he's the builder of the step pyramid in Saqqara. So Imhotep also was worshipped by the Greeks as a god. And he's a famous archaeologist, and he is the one who built the first stone building in Egypt. I mean, stone pyramid. Before his time, they used to build out of mud, like straw mud brick, you know. And the step pyramid in Saqqara was built by the famous Imhotep. We're talking about 2700 BC. And quickly, just to tell you how important, the step pyramid is, if we're talking about Imhotep, King Tutankhamun, for instance, and we all know King Tutankhamun, when he went to visit the step pyramid in Saqqara, and King Tutankhamun dates back to 1350 BC, the step pyramid was already 1400 years old or 1500 years old. Can you imagine? So when he went with his family, and I'm talking about King Tutankhamun, to visit the step pyramid, it was already that old. That shows you how spacious the Egyptian civilization is. Back to the discovery of Saqqara, and the way the coffins or the sarcophagi were displayed. And as Dr. Mustafa Waziri said when he announced it, and he announced it with lots of passion. I mean, he was talking in a very passionate way, and and he was very, I mean, proud that it's totally Egyptian excavation and Egyptian discovery. Well, he also said that there was a good competition between the different museums. Some of the pieces will be in display at the GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum. And as he said, that the chairman or the manager of the Grand Egyptian Museum was waiting with all the cases and the plaster and everything to take the coffins and have it on display. Also, the manager of the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities in Tahrir also was waiting, and she wanted to take also the pieces to have it in display in the Egyptian Museum. That answers the question. When people ask us all the time about the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities in Tahrir, because the travelers, when they come here, well, they look at the museum and they know, and they say, I mean, what about this building? What about this museum? And you're talking about the gym day and night. Is this going to be still a museum? Yes, it will. And now he said that they will put or display pieces in the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities. I just love the Egyptian Museum, and that's why I talk about it. And it has been listed in as a heritage building, by the way. I mean, the Egyptian Museum, so it will remain as a sculpture museum. And the discovery also has cosmetics, I mean, mirrors.
The paintings itself, the colors.
Yeah.
Painting the faces and the coffins. They talked about it in the media also.
Yes, painting the faces. Well, if you look at those faces of the Egyptians in the past, and if you look at the look they have, it seems like, I mean, they just buried the statues yesterday. I mean, it's in a very good shape. And the good thing is, what helped is the dry weather. I mean, the dry weather of Egypt helped preserving the sites. The paintings and the plaster layer, the red and the green and the blue, all those colors that are still in a very good shape. There are also two statues of Isis and Nephthys. I mean, two mourning statues of Isis and Nephthys, also in a very good shape and in great colors. This is considered to be a great discovery, and this is a good advertisement for Egypt. Everybody talks about it. I just arrived from a tour. I was on a tour, and the group I had was talking about the discovery. They said, we have seen it on TV. And they said, can we go back to Saqqara? But we already had finished this part of the tour. Imagine what? They wanted to extend the trip. They wanted to stay longer. I mean, we were just in Alexandria, and we just came today, by the way, and they wanted to go back. They said, can we go back tomorrow? Can we change the tickets? I mean, the international tickets were talking. Can we go back to Saqqara and see this new discovery? So this is going to be a good attraction. Egypt, New Egypt now, is not the traveler's mother's Egypt and grandmother's Egypt. There is New Egypt now. New Egypt that people know about, and some of them don't know about, but they will know about. It's those kind of tours, like I would call it Instagrammic tours. People want to come and see the new things, you know. Luxor and Aswan and the Nile cruise is beautiful, but imagine when you bring the travelers and they go down to the tombs and they see the new discoveries and the new digs. It's amazing, and it's a very good way of attraction.
Talking about the beaches, especially that we are in summer season,
Yes.
and summer vacation, and people are selecting the best places to visit worldwide, Egypt was ranked with 7 amazing, marvelous beaches, topping the world when it comes to the most visited. Those beaches are located all over the coast over here, Al Sahel coast or the north coast, and not only in the north coast, but other places in Sharm el Sheikh and Sinai and all that. But let's start off with the Hala main city.
Yes.
As part of the new republic, and a great deal of this particular city was done with in no time.
Yes.
And it could compete with the most modern and the most elite beaches worldwide. The new Alamein city is was erected according to the latest state of the art.
Yes.
They could even compare it to the new Riviera.
Yes.
It could even surpass the new Riviera. How far do you think Al Alamein city could change the tourism map or the summer tourism map?
Well, I mean, the Al Alamein city.
It's not only for summer.
It's not only for summer, and travelers also would like to come and spend their summer holidays in Egypt, and that's a new tourism. In the past, we were very much used to the culture tourism, but now we have the beach tourism. In the 2000s, I mean 2002, 2003, there were a charter flight that used to go to Al Alamein, and I happened to go there in the early 2000s. With this, I think it was an English travel agency that used to have the charter flights there. And when we went in the past, there was nothing there in Al Alamein. I mean, the beach was there, but I mean, a couple of hotels and that's about it. I happened to go to the North Coast last summer, and I happened to drive by. I mean, it's amazing. At night, the lights of Al Alamein, the lights of the towers and the buildings, it's like, I mean, the Riviera, as you said. It's beautiful, and it's very modern and advanced, and it's a very good tourist attraction. I have seen lots of videos of lots of the travelers from the Gulf area and from the different Arab countries, and they like to go to Al Alamein, and they like to spend their summer there, their summer holiday, and it's a new tourist attraction. It's not going to be only Cairo and the tours they did, or Alexandria, but also Al Alamein, and it's very amazing the efforts that has been done and how fast, I mean, things went, and the grown city was developed. I mean, if you pass by Al Alamein and see the development, it reminds me was this American traveler in the past, who told me that he was in China, for instance, and he would, on a conference, and he would go by a building back and forth on the way to the conference, and he would say that things were going very fast in the buildings. I mean, day by day, and this is what I noticed in Al Alamein, by the way, going by Al Alamein in the last summer. So this is going to be again a great attraction, and it will open doors to different nationalities, from Europe, from the United States, and because they come and ask, what if we want to go on the beach? What can we do? They want to stay longer time. Imagine what the travelers that I mean was on the tour. With me, they're staying for a month in Egypt, 1 month. I mean, doing Luxor and Aswan. They're doing Sharm el-Sheikh. They're flying tomorrow to Sharm el-Sheikh, and after that they're going to Hurghada. So the travelers now are not going to stay only for a week or 9 days or 10 days as it used to be in the past. They will stay longer, and they will spend longer nights in Egypt, and this will be the trend. It's not going to be the cookie cut tours that used to be in the past. I mean, things are different, and there are other things to see and visit in Egypt. And as I told you, it's this Instagramic tours. People like to see new things, and they like to go and talk about this new advanced and developments that's going on.
We need to know about Al Alamein city as a place or a venue and a source of income for Egypt. It's not only a source of tourism for the summer only. It is a city that could provide services throughout the whole year. There are universities,
yes,
colleges that are established inside the Al Alamein city. There are industries, there are theaters, cultural spots, agricultural spots, and economic spots. So it looks like it could be another capital, regardless. Parallel to the new capital in Cairo. So what type of tourism could Al Alamein city provide for visitors?
Al Alamein city could provide travelers all year round. So it's not going to be a seasonable tourism as it used to be, in the past. But Europeans and people from, North Europe and so on and so forth will be traveling to Al Alamein. I think it will be competing with other resorts in the area. And also, as I told you, the travelers from the Gulf countries, from the Arab countries, will also will be coming to Al Alamein. And this will keep it going all through the summer. Also from the North African countries. There are lots of travelers from the North African countries will be able to come and visit Al Alamein. If you go on the social media today, people are talking about this new city and about the new towers and about, the way it's lit at night and the way the trips are going. You see all those water activities and you see all those sport activities that's going on in Al Alamein. Also, people will be living there. There are people who are in the industrial business. We're talking about Egyptians and we're talking about foreigners. They're renting houses and they're renting villas and they're buying houses and this and that. They're living all year round. So since they have schools, they have universities, they have factories, they have also surrounded by agriculture areas. You see the peach fields and the apricot fields all through. The lush vegetation. It's amazing. And there are certain. Also the watermelons. And so that's a great type of agriculture because all those trees and plants grows in the desert area. So it's good in the desert area, and it's going to be also a good production for agriculture. You know that agriculture exports is one also of the main sources of the Egyptian economy. So it's going to be a win-win situation. You'll have industries, you'll have agriculture, you'll have people living there, you'll have schools, and you have travelers and tourism all year round. So I would call this sustainability.
It could be a business capital also.
It can be a business capital, and also it's going to be the west, the west gate of Egypt, the west gate of Egypt. And in the past, when we used to travel to Al Alamein on tours, it was just spacious desert, and there was nothing there. Now it's amazing. This is also from the security point of view, I believe. I'm not a specialist in security, of course, but also to have a city and to have people living there and to have, this is also protection, and also good security point for Egypt from the west gate, as we always say. Egypt is changing. New Egypt is now, it shows in the roads they are building, in all the advanced buildings that's going on. So I would say it's good for tourism, good for economy, and good for the travelers, and also good for the Egyptians, because it's going to create lots of jobs and lots of opportunities. Imagine how many people are going to be working in the hotels, in the resorts, in agriculture, in the universities. So creating job opportunities, it goes parallel with the new capital that they are building now. So it can be also another capital of Egypt, as you were saying.
Right. We're going to go to a short break, and we'll come to explore the beauty of the beaches in Egypt, and moving from Al Alamein to another most beautiful, even more beautiful, a totally different type of beauty that is located in Sharm el Sheikh and Dahab. So we'll be right back after this short break, so stay with us. Welcome back, and we're still exploring the beauty of Egypt. We were talking about one of the most seven wonders, but one of the seven most beautiful beaches are located in Egypt. We talked about Al Alamein and all its fronts and all the elements that would qualify it to be a top capital worldwide, not only for the summer tourism, but also for other types of tourism. But could be an economic capital, could be an educational capital and business capital, you name it. Moving from Al Alamein to another most beautiful front in Egypt, and it has a totally different type of beauty that's a little bit authentic, has been there for a long time. Dahab is described as an ideal place to resort to nature, to healthy livelihoods, and also to different type of tourism, which is the medical tourism and all types of tourism, cultural tourism. We're going to be talking now about Dahab and as a unique place and the type of tourism it provides for the tourists. What type of tourists would visit Dahab?
Well, Dahab is a special city. But instead, I mean, I will start with the Egyptians who like to travel to Dahab. I mean, all the Egyptians now, the university students, starting from the university students and the school students, high school students, and then people from different professions like to go to Dahab. I mean, all of my friends, whenever they have like a weekend or 5-6 days or so, they just arrange a trip and they go to Dahab. And Dahab has a special aroma, if I would say. I mean, you see people from all, different parts of the world. You walk by and you feel it's a cosmopolitan city. You see people from England, from France, from Italy, from Spain, and different ages. I mean, all those people are just enjoying the beach and enjoying the activities at night. The good thing about Dahab is there are lots of things to do at night. There are some resorts that you go to that there is not much of activities that you do at night, including Maldives, for instance. When you go to Maldives, for instance, there is not much things to do. It's islands and kind of isolated, and there is not much of activities. You have the water and just the resort where you are. The good thing about Dahab is there are lots of nightlife, and there are lots of restaurants, and there are lots of different cuisines and different categories of food. The food tourism in Egypt is amazing. I mean, people go.
It's one of its kind.
It's one of its kind, and we have, those kind of foods. I don't want to mention the name of the restaurants, but you go there in the restaurants in Dahab, and they offer for you the Egyptian falafel and the baba ganoush, the eggplant, and the tahini, the sesame seed salad, and all those dippers, and lots of it, and there are lots of generosity in the way they display the food, and even the different kinds of omelets they present. That's for breakfast. The falfa beans, it's all nutritious or healthy. And if we're talking about lunch and the different types of fish, you eat there, and grilled and fried and this and that. All the desserts they have. The Egyptian, the different cheese they offer in the different restaurants, and also the food display, the fruit display also that you see when you walk through the market, the local markets. It's amazing. The travelers, when they go there, they just take pictures. They are very astonished with the way the Egyptians display their fruits and vegetables and their food, and it's a clean city, and you feel it's an eco-friendly, and I would say it's a city that never sleeps. You have since the crack of dawn, there is water activities. People go to the beach and they go swimming and snorkeling and scuba diving and go on banana boats and this and that, and they do those parachuting, which is amazing, and you see them laughing and enjoying their day by the beach, and then they go have lunch, and then at night they have this outings in coffee shops and cafeterias and restaurants, and it's amazing. And it's beautiful attraction, and people from different parts of the world. In the past, the beach resorts were only attracting certain kinds of clients or travelers, but nowadays this is not the case. Now it's attracting different nationalities and different categories of people, and also different interest of people. I mean, there are people who like the culture tourism, and they still go to Dahab. The trend now in most of the tour itineraries that the traveler would come and they would do Cairo. They will start with Cairo, and they will spend like 2 or 3 nights in Cairo, and then they would travel to Luxor and Aswan, and the boats traveling between Luxor and Aswan on the Nile. I mean, the good thing about it is, by the way, that it hasn't been changed since the biblical times. People go on the Nile and they feel they are in the ancient times. I mean, with the lush and vegetation and the trees and this and that. I mean, and the Nile so flat and smooth, and they just go and take pictures, and it hasn't been changed since the biblical times, and they just look at it, and to them this is different, this is amazing, and they get off the boats and they go to the temples and visit the temples and come back, and the generosity of the food and the cuisines in Egypt, it's amazing. And it's beautiful when you go see the people taking pictures in the temples. I just talked about those temples quickly, but then after they finish, they go to Abu Simbel temple, and they say about Abu Simbel, if those who have, who listed the ancient wonders of the world have seen Abu Simbel, it would have been listed in as one of the ancient wonders of the world. So imagine, after this, they want to relax and rest. So after they do this hectic trip, by the way, this is not my talk. This is not my speech. This is what the travelers say. I just took from the feedback we get from the travelers. So today they said, "Oh, you wore us out. We're going temples and sites and history and this and this and that. But now we need to rest." So they're staying in those fancy hotels by the airport, and then they fly to Dahab or to Sharm el-Sheikh and rest for 3, 4, 5 nights. This is all good. This is all good for the economy and good for the people. You know, imagine when they travel and they do the tours. It's good. As I say, it's a win-win relationship. And again, Dahab has lots of Instagramic tours. The pictures. I remember this guy in the market who has a display of the Egyptian, I would say, colloquial or the Egyptian proverbs. To me, it was beautiful. To all of us, to all our group, it was beautiful. We took tons of pictures with this guy in the shop. How smart he is. The blue tags and names, and it has all this Egyptian proverbs. And you read it, and brings you all the memories. If this is our situation, what about the travelers who come here from the Arab countries, from the Gulf countries? You also have lots of English proverbs. One of it, for instance, Egypt is the gift of the Nile. One of it, it says,
ادخلوها آمنين.
ادخلوها آمنين, for instance, and so on and so forth. That's one example. The way they display the galabiyas, the Egyptian galabiyas, the long garment, is also stunning. So that's just a few items in Al Amin.
Moving from Dahab to another amazing and totally different beach, which is in Nizak Beach, which is located 13 kilometers south of the Marsa Alam city, where waters are warm and crystal, and it is warm and crystal throughout the whole year. This could be another type of tourism to encourage other visitors, because as you know, there are different types of visitors to different places. A place like Nizak, with all its characteristics like that, what could it be fit for? This type of warm water, the crystal, that type of surroundings throughout the whole year, that weather. What type of tourist would like to go to Marsa Alam and visit the Nizak Beach?
Well, Marsa Alam and the Nizak Beach is very special. I would say it's still a virgin beach, and I've been to Marsa Alam, and it's amazing the calmness and the quietness that you have there. So it will be kind of a relaxing vacation, relaxing holiday. So people who want to spend a relaxing holiday or relaxing vacation and enjoy the beach and enjoy the this warm weather. Egypt is blessed with its weather, and it's warm during the winter. And the thing about Marsa Alam, it can be also a winter resort. So it's not only a summer resort, but people go there in the winter because temperature there is like, we're talking, like 70 Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit, sorry. So 70 Fahrenheit, 70 Fahrenheit in the winter, that's to most of the travelers is summer. When you go there in the winter time, for Egyptians, we feel it's a little bit chilly, but you see the travelers are swimming and they say to us, this is summer. We are blessed with the sun. We are blessed with the sand. Egypt is blessed with its weather, and I think it's an attraction to all kinds of travelers. If I say travelers, retired travelers who want to come and spend their retirement holiday, this will fit them. If I say honeymooners who want to spend their holiday in Marsa Alam and in Isaac Beach, it will fit them. If I say Egyptians who want to change, instead of going to Sharm el-Sheikh, for instance, or to Alexandria, they can go there for a change, and it's very trendy, and they enjoy it, and it's a relaxing tourism. It can be also a healing tourism. People who like yoga, people who like meditation. There are lots of travelers who are planning to do yoga tours. Now it's also very trendy. Groups who practice yoga.
There are some yoga retreats in some other places.
Yes,
in Dahshur.
In Dahshur and in Maadi. They go on the felucas and they do the yoga trips on the Nile, on those sailboats.
And meditation.
And meditation.
Cooking special healthy food.
Well,
there are gurus who prepare these things.
Food, of course, the Egyptian food in general is very healthy. Think about all the way the Egyptians, cook their food. It's nutritious and it's healthy, and it's good for all kinds of people. People like the falafel, people like the salads and all the dippers. So the food tourism also will be attracting, and also Marsa Alam can be an attraction point. We can make every city specialized for a certain type of food. I think that will be a good thing. We need to brand our food. Imagine Egypt produces lots of sugar cane. And when you go to Luxor, for instance, you see lots of the sugar cane fields all around. The good thing about sugar cane, you don't need to plant it every year. You cut the sugar cane and it grows, for the 5-6 years. And then you plow it in the field and this and that. Now, if we do the molasses, the Egyptian molasses, and we give it a brand, let's say Luxor molasses, for instance, or Egypt molasses, and then it will be in the airports and we sell it in the restaurant. This is a good advertisement, and people will buy it and love it, and it's a branded food. Just an example for one of our items. I think Egypt has lots of varieties and lots of things to see. If you want culture tourism, you'll find it in Egypt. If you want resort trips, you'll find it in Egypt. If you want relaxing places, you'll find it in Egypt. Now, if you want modern beaches and water activities, it's also in Egypt. So, Egypt has it all for those who want to travel. And that's why Egypt has been always on the top, I can't say top 10, I would say top 5, top 6 destinations in the bucket list of the travelers worldwide. For the last 29 years, I've been working in the field of tourism, and people will always say, we always want to come to Egypt. It's a lifetime trip. And we studied about Egypt at school. We have seen Egypt in our, at school, and it has been a dream. So,
as the world is suffering or still going through the trauma of the pandemics,
yes.
From one pandemic to another, and from one strain of coronavirus to the other, and then the monkeypox and everything, thanks to God that Egypt is not among the countries that are heavily contaminated. You can easily, you can hardly find a case of those that the other parts of the world are suffering, because here there are heavy precautions, and also because of the weather and all that. Actually, we ran out of time. We were about to talk about reviving the domestic tourism, but on a promise that you visit us on another episode of Windows and Current Affairs, and we talk about reviving the domestic tourism.
I do promise, and it's
Because
always
of the
great
pandemic.
to join you in the program. And thank you very much.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Thank you so much, and you have a beautiful evening. And I guess this unfortunately brings us to the end of this edition of Windows and Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you. And again, until we see you next week, that's a goodbye.